He's wrecking our economy. I think people have seen their retirement savings on fire. He is out on the golf course. That may end up being the most enduring image of the Trump presidency. That is, president out on a golf cart while people's retirement is in flames.
They didn't just expose Trump. They uncrowned him. And it happened live on national television, with Adam Schiff as the executioner and the truth as his blade. No filters, no Fox News edits, no spin, just one man, one mic, and a stack of documents. That didn't just tell a story, they told the story. The one Trump's been trying to bury under rally chants and social media tirades for years. But last night, the lies ran out of places to hide. Because when Adam Schiff walked into that studio, he didn't come with a soundbite. He came with receipts. And if you're tired of the circus and ready for raw, unfiltered truth, hit that subscribe button right now. This is the political reckoning we've been waiting for. Let's rewind just a bit, because this wasn't random. Schiff didn't just wake up and decide to end Trump's political second act.
Quickly, they have created a climate of fear. I wouldn't have thought it possible, but by going after universities, they're intimidating other universities. By going after certain press organizations, they're causing others to self-censor. By going after certain law firms, they're causing other lawyers to not want to take cases if they think it will be retaliated against by the administration. Companies, towing a Trumpian line because they're worried about losing government contracts. I would not have thought it possible to so quickly create that climate of fear. And we have to band together, we have to speak out, we have to push back, we have to show courage. The dictator wannabes, this is part of their playbook. And the only way to defeat it is by standing strong and saying basically, screw you, I won't be intimidated.
Today, this was months in the making. Quiet subpoenas, anonymous whistleblowers, forensic accountants crawling through campaign shell companies like digital archaeologists. And when the moment finally came, it landed like a sledgehammer through the floorboards of Trump's carefully curated comeback narrative. You could feel it in the air. This wasn't a routine segment. It was a televised ambush. Schiff began with a calmness that made it even more unnerving. No raised voice, no dramatics, just clarity. "We have information," he said, "that directly ties the former president to financial transactions from foreign actors during active policy negotiations." Boom. You could hear the studio gasp, the kind of silence that only happens when a lie collapses in real time. And then came the documents. Names, dates, wire numbers. Trump wasn't just skirting ethics, he was swimming in a sea of illicit influence. And Schiff was the shark circling with a smirk. The brilliance wasn't just in what Schiff said, it was how he said it. Each sentence was a scalpel. He sliced away the talking points, peeled off the propaganda, and left the raw muscle of corruption twitching in the cold light of public scrutiny. He didn't accuse Trump of treason. He showed it. Let that sink in.
This is going to be a disaster for our economy. It's going to be a disaster for hardworking families that are going to have to pay more for auto parts or getting their car fixed or, buying groceries or anything else. These other countries, many of them are our closest allies, are going to retaliate against us. It's just simply going to escalate from here. I talked to farmers out in California who still haven't recovered the market share they lost during the first Trump administration.
We're not talking about innuendo, not opinion. These were government documents, tax records, internal communications from Trump's own allies, emails pleading with him to back off certain policy decisions because, quote, "it looks like a payoff." Looks like. Schiff didn't leave it to interpretation. He showed foreign banking transfers that coincided with key shifts in U.S. foreign policy. Countries that just weeks before were labeled enemies suddenly became great partners. Sanctions were lifted. Trade deals altered. And every move had a price tag. You know what they call that? Not politics, not diplomacy. That's a transaction. That's betrayal. And Trump's name was on every receipt. The most damning moment came about 20 minutes, in when Schiff dropped the clip. A never-before-seen internal recording from a closed-door donor meeting where Trump, with all the subtlety of a mob boss, joked about how foreign money flows faster than American red tape.
If you could simply declassify by thinking about it, then frankly, if that's his view, he's even more dangerous than we may have thought, because with that view, he could simply spout off on anything he read in a presidential daily brief or anything he was briefed on by the CIA director to a visiting Russian delegation or any other delegation, and simply say, well, I thought about it, and therefore, when the words came out of my mouth, they were...
The room laughed. Schiff didn't, because this wasn't just unethical, it was criminally stupid, and the worst part? We let it happen. We normalized the madness. We shrugged off every red flag as just Trump being Trump. But Schiff, he didn't come to play therapist. He came to deliver a verdict. The effect was instantaneous. Media outlets that usually tiptoe around Trump's scandals were suddenly wide awake. Even conservative analysts were using words like indictable, treasonous, and systemic corruption. Fox News anchors looked like deer in headlights. One segment even cut to commercial early, allegedly due to technical difficulties. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, Trump was imploding in real time. His Truth Social feed lit up like a bonfire. All caps, random punctuation, accusations of a deep state coup, and threats to expose Schiff's lies, with zero specifics. Because here's the thing, when the truth lands, it doesn't need spin. It lands on its own. Heavy, final. And yet, Schiff wasn't angry. He wasn't even smug. He was focused, calm in a way that felt almost eerie, like a surgeon performing a procedure he'd rehearsed 1,000 times. And that's because he had. He knew Trump. He'd studied the lies, the patterns, the network of enablers.
In what can be seen as a vindication of the rule of law, Donald Trump was indicted for these crimes. But a system of justice bound by the rule of law requires not only that charging decisions be made against people similarly situated, without preference or disfavor according to their position, but that the conduct of those prosecutions likewise be timely and appropriate. In this, our justice system failed miserably. Trump was able to seek endless delays in court, and the courts, understanding that motivation, mindful of the fact that justice delayed can mean justice is denied, willfully delayed the prosecution of Donald Trump until he could avoid a reckoning with justice altogether.
And when the moment came, he didn't hesitate. He carved out the illusion and held up the reality for everyone to see. This wasn't about left or right. Schiff didn't say Democrat. He didn't say Republican. He said corruption. He said foreign money. He said compromised presidency. And those words don't wear party colors. They wear handcuffs. That's what makes this moment different. This wasn't a scandal designed to distract or inflate TV ratings. It was the slow, brutal end of a mythology. The MAGA myth. The idea that Trump, billionaire outsider, was here to save America. Schiff proved he wasn't saving it, he was selling it. And the price? Whatever they were willing to pay. As we cut to commercial, there was no cheering, no applause. Just a stunned silence. A nation staring at the reflection of what it let itself become.
Donald Trump, talks about you a lot, and when we put this together, think of this as kind of like, when's your...
June 22nd.
Okay, an early gift.
Adam Schiff is a truly bad guy. He's a crooked guy. Adam Schiff, he's a sleazebag. What a sleazebag that guy is. Total sleazebag. Horrible human being. Major lowlife. Truly bad guy. What a liar.
It looks like he got hit with a baseball bat or something. What happened to him?
His neck is like so small.
Pencil neck, Adam Schiff.
And how that neck can hold up that big, oversized, ugly head.
That fat, ugly face.
So I said watermelon head.
I call him watermelon head.
He's calling you a water... Well, first of all, your neck, I'm looking at it. And do people look at it now?
I'll tell you, a watermelon head on a pencil neck is a pretty tough balancing act.
Trump has lived in a world...
The emperor had no clothes, and Adam Schiff didn't laugh. He handed out the X-rays. What happens next? Well, that's the part no one can spin. It only took one night for the facade to start crumbling. But what followed was a political earthquake. By morning, legal analysts were calling for indictments. Federal prosecutors, previously cautious and slow-moving, were suddenly not returning calls to reporters. That silence? Deafening. That silence tells you everything. Schiff didn't just present a case. He boxed the Justice Department into a corner. Either they act or they admit they've been complicit through inaction. There's no middle ground left. The damage control from Trump's camp? Pathetic. Press releases written like ransom notes. Lawyers babbling about selective editing, while refusing to address any of the documentation. And Trump himself? He went into full delusion mode, ranting about deep fakes, holograms, digital witchcraft. Yes, he actually said that.
And the damage that he's doing to the country, which I think dwarfs what we've seen of any other president. It's been a lawless administration. They are willfully ignoring court orders. They are unlawfully cutting and have plans to cut deep into Medicaid, and the damage they're doing is going to be incalculable.
Meanwhile, Schiff's expose went viral. It was shared by generals, by teachers, by ex-Trump voters who said, "I didn't sign up for this," by foreign diplomats stunned that a U.S. president had turned diplomacy into a cash register. This wasn't just political embarrassment, it was international humiliation. Even staunch allies began distancing themselves. You could see it on their faces. Republicans who've stood by Trump through everything now staring at the abyss and realizing he's no longer an asset. He's a liability with a countdown clock. This is how empires fall. Not with explosions, but with leaks. And this leak? It's growing by the hour. Insiders are flipping. The same people who once called Schiff a liar are now quietly cooperating. People inside Trump's orbit are handing over communications, voice memos, financial trails. Why? Because they know what comes next. And no one wants to be the last one holding the bag when the lights go out. And here's the kicker. Schiff knew all of this would happen. This wasn't just a broadcast. It was a trigger, a trap, a domino. And once it tipped, the whole machinery began to grind, screech, unravel. Now the real question looms. What will the Department of Justice do? Because if they do nothing, they prove that power shields corruption. That accountability is a myth. But if they act, they'll be making history. Not just legally, but morally. Because for the first time, we're not talking about tax evasion or campaign finance violations. We're talking about a former president who sold access, altered foreign policy, and compromised American sovereignty in exchange for money. There's a word for that, and it's not deal-making. It's betrayal. What Adam Schiff did was more than political. It was surgical. He cut through years of fog, of media distortion, of partisan static, and delivered a single clear signal. This is who Trump really is. If you believe the truth still matters, if you want more unfiltered, intense breakdowns like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because this isn't over, because now we enter the endgame. The investigations are accelerating. Congressional hearings are being planned. State attorneys are circling. Even foreign governments are starting to ask, how much of what we signed was actually legitimate? This isn't just about Trump. It's about the system that allowed him to operate with impunity for so long. Schiff didn't just expose a man, he exposed a machine built on propaganda, distraction, and fear. And maybe, just maybe, that machine is finally breaking down. The question now isn't just, what did Trump do? We know that. We saw it. It's documented. The question is, will the system have the courage to hold him accountable? Or will it crumble under the weight of its own cowardice? Let us know what you think in the comments, because this isn't just a story, it's a reckoning, and you're a part of it.